Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Bad Vibes. I'm here with some news, but I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I'm trying a new format, maybe a little longer. We're going to have a little bit of history. So sit down with me and let's go on this journey together. And before I get started, I wanted to wear my freaking hamburger, my little cartoon. I'm the hamburger. I wanted to wear my hamburger shirt. It's yellow, but it's too close to green. So screw that. I'm not changing. Anyways, buckle up because tonight we're diving into a story that's worth exactly 1 cent. And I'm going to give my 2 cents on this 1 cent that actually costs like 17 cents to mint. But now I'm not making sense. Haha. But it's about the minting of the last penny. I believe this happened Wednesday of last week. And that's right. The U.S. Mint has finally pulled the plug on America's tiniest, most annoying coin. On November 12th, so as last week, the final 1 cent was stamped out in Philadelphia, ending a saga that's older than your grandpa's bad jokes, or definitely mine. President Trump tweeted, or rather X'd, or post, I don't know what they call it now. He tweeted back in February that it was time to stop this quote-unquote wasteful production, because apparently saving the economy starts with ditching loose change. I mean, you add it up, you take it to the Coinstar, you pay off national debt. And honestly, but who can argue? It costs 3 cents to make a 1 cent coin. I mean, this is a long time coming. It's like paying for a gym membership to go watch TV in it. Let's do a little history lesson before we bid farewell to this copper-plated nuisance. Let's rewind the clock a little bit for this lesson, because nothing says fun, hilarious video like coin collecting. That's what everybody loves to do, right? So part of this new format I'm doing, let's take a little look at history. Let's get hyper-fixated on one thing. Let's just get full-on autistic about pennies. I've boofed a line of Tylenol and let's go. But let's get into the history. The penny made its debut way back in 1793 during the early days of the Republic. George Washington was president, and a penny could buy you a newspaper, a beer, or maybe even his autograph. I don't know. Inflation. The first one was known as the flowing hair cent, big as a modern quarter with Lady Liberty looking like she just stepped out of a wind tunnel. They quickly switched to the chain cent, which featured interlocking chains on the back, symbolizing unity. Or maybe just a subtle nod to the fact that we'd all be chained to this coin for the next 2 centuries. Over the years, the designs kept evolving faster and faster. We had the Liberty cap, looking like a revolutionary nightcap. The draped bust, which was basically Lady Liberty in a toga party outfit. The classic head where she got a makeover, and the braided hair, because who doesn't love a good updo? Then came the flying eagle cent in 1856. An eagle mid-flight, probably trying to escape the coin's fate. That flopped. So in 1859, we got the Indian head penny, Native American head penny, I guess. Correct me. Fun fact, the Indian was actually modeled after the mint director's daughter, a white girl wearing a feathered headdress. Cultural sensitivity wasn't invented yet. Lay off. It lasted until 1909, when to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, we slapped Honest Abe's profile on there. The reverse had wheat stalks because nothing honors the man who ended slavery like a gluten allergy. They called it the wheat penny, and it became a collector's dream for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't collect coins. Maybe it was a nightmare. It depends on how many you hoarded, I guess. Anyways, fast forward to 1959. Out with the wheat and with a Lincoln Memorial. Now Abe was staring at his own backside. The monument, that is. Deep stuff. And in 2010, they updated it to a shield symbolizing preservation or something. I don't remember. Probably just shielding us from realizing how worthless it is. Composition-wise, it's been a wild ride too, starting as pure copper in 1793. See, so we're learning stuff here. Switched to bronze in the 1800s, and during World War II in 1943, to save copper for bullets, they made them out of steel, zinc-coated steel pennies that rusted faster than politicians' promises that minted these. But a few copper ones snuck through by mistake, and those bad boys are now worth over $1 million each. So before you go to that Coinstar or the bank, take a look. Imagine a mint error turning, your freaking peanut butter jar full of pennies into your retirement fund. After the war, back to bronze until 1982, when inflation hit and they switched to mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. It's like a penny cosplaying is valuable, I guess. Now on to modern times. For the last 20 years, this costs more to produce than it's worth. Efficiency, yeah. The mint lost billions on these things. No wonder Trump called it quits. Canada ditched their penny back in 2012, and the world didn't end. Prices just rounded up or down to the nearest nickel. However, it's the U.S., so everybody's going to lose their minds. What's going to happen to all those prices that end in 99 cents, which is like all of them? Surely they'll round down to help us out, right? Anyways, that was History Corner. Now let's get to the fun part, the funny stories involving pennies. Because if there's one thing that this coin excels at, it's being the butt of jokes. And some of them are just silly things like U.S. mint errors, like there's a 1955 double die penny. Lincoln's face looks like he partied too hard the night before. Everything's blurred and doubled. But if you got one in mint condition, it's worth up to $100 grand. It's like the mint said, oops, we printed 2 apes for the price of 1, but they're worth $100 grand. Or 1972, the double die, same deal, now fetching thousands. And in 1943, the copper ones, most were still, but those rogue coppers, they go for millions, like we mentioned earlier. One guy found one in his lunch money as a kid in 1947, sold it decades later for $1.7 million. I mean, that's worth bullying a child for his lunch money over, yeah? But pennies aren't just for collectors. They've starred in some hilarious real-life stories. Remember that dude in Virginia back in 2015? He got hit with an $800 fine from the DMV and decided to pay it with 300,000 pennies. Malicious compliance. I love it. That's 5 wheelbarrows full of pennies weighing over 1,600 pounds. I may have talked about that on the channel, and I'm thinking about it early on. I can't remember. I definitely remember the story. The clerks had to count them for hours. He said it was civil disobedience. I call it petty revenge. Emphasis on petty, but I'm here for it. Or how about other things like the classic the penny on the train tracks thing, prank? I don't know. Kids flatten them for fun. You know, one time in the 80s, supposedly a train in Ohio derailed, but that's all urban legend. But imagine if that actually happened. Freaking penny derailed a train, you know? It definitely does work, though. Not that I would know firsthand, but I've seen some. Some others, such as there's the penny fortune tell. A guy buys an old house and finds a sack of pennies in the basement, thinks it's junk, but they're all rare wheat pennies from the early 1900s. Turns out worth over 10 grand. So moral of the story, check your grandma's cookie jar and, you know, wherever else she's got them stashed. What else about pennies? Who hasn't heard a penny for your thoughts? But in reality, if somebody offers you a penny for your thoughts, they're probably lowballing you, or they think you're really stupid, I guess. Inflation adjusted, it should be at least a quarter. I mean, I think some of those Walmart vending machines, you might still get a soda for a quarter, so there's that. Pennies even have superstitions involved. Find one heads up for good luck, tails for bad. But let's be real, finding any penny is bad luck because it's just going to end up in a jar or in your pocket forever and making noise. Then there's penny pinching. Famously, Benjamin Franklin said, "A penny saved is a penny earned." Yeah, thanks, Ben. But these days, a penny is just taking up space and not actually worth the the metal is printed on. All right, one more. In 2023, a Reddit user posted about spotting a weird penny and spiraling into a rabbit hole of coin collecting. He ended up buying a magnifying glass and spending hours on error coins, misprints and such. He called it his new autism, hyperfixation, wholesome and hilarious. It doesn't shock me. I mean, freaking cartoon playing cards are going for hundreds and thousands of dollars now, so why not pennies? I'm sure if you scour TikTok, you'll find a guy that's screaming about penny errors and how in 1922 there was a D missing in this one or something, or you could buy a car in 1930 with a penny or something. I don't know. You just have fun digging on that one. But anyways, the rest of us are here just like, yeah, these pennies don't buy anything now. They just regret. So as we say goodbye to the penny, what's next? Rounding Rounding prices mean you'll save a few cents here and there or lose them, depending on the store. Which way would they go? Surely they wouldn't price everything at, I don't know, 91 cents and round them up to the next dollar. They might do it to the next nickel, and even so, it's not going to be in our favor. I mean, come on. What about charities? Maybe they'll suffer. Maybe it'll be a boon. All those jars at the checkouts. I guess no more. Pennies are still legal tender. It's not like they're going to just be worthless. But I guess we'll be dropping nothing but nickels, dimes, and quarters in those now. Maybe they'll come out ahead. I don't know. But you got a jar full at home, or roll them up, take them to the bank, or maybe it'd make more sense to melt them down. Although that's a felony. Don't do that. Who knows? I mean, go full on into the autism. Get all the pennies and decorate your model trains with them. Fill up the little cars, weigh them down. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. So I guess in the end, the penny's legacy is simple. It taught us that even the smallest things can be a big pain in the ass and take up space all over our desk and cars and cup holders. So farewell, little copper friend. You're worth every cent. Not really, but you tried. So, although if you have 199 of those bad boys laying around, you can join my channel membership and help support the channel and make sure that I keep making these videos and not disappear for 2 months again, which I promise I'm not going to do. I'm back. But that's a joke. Anyways, let me know if you like this new format. If you made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I want to do things more like this and not just read the news stories. I want to kind of pre-write my jokes, because I don't know how many times I've been editing videos and I've just been like, damn it, I thought of something hilarious and it's too late to say it. So I'm trying to do it ahead of time now, and it's a little easier for me to get everything out without stuttering a bunch also. Anyways, that's my TED Talk on how I make videos. Bye.